He took 2 glasses from her small kitchen area and poured wine into both, but before doing so, he discreetly dropped a powdery substance into her glass without her noticing. After Amara took a sip, she began feeling dizzy and soon fell asleep. David was the youngest of 3 children, and the only son of his wealthy and respected parents, Chief and Madam Ayala. Despite their affluence, they raised their children with humility and strong moral values. His sisters, Ruth and Eboli, were gentle and respectful. David, while kind on the surface, had a dangerous weakness. He was a chronic womanizer. At just 20, David had already cycled through multiple girlfriends. In university, he threw money around, partied hard, and left a trail of broken hearts behind him. Public fights between girls over him became common. He'd laugh and say, "Girls are toys. I pick and drop them as I wish." His friends warned him, but David didn't care. "All a man needs is money. Women will come crawling," he'd boast. When he joined the National Youth Service Corps, his habits worsened. He dated nearly every woman he came across, seducing them with false promises. Among them was Amara, a quiet, principled woman who had vowed to stay celibate until marriage. When David asked her out, she agreed on the condition that there would be no intimacy. This confused David. He'd never experienced a relationship without sex. Still, hoping she'd change her mind, he agreed. The most she ever gave was a hug, which frustrated him. She didn't know he was seeing other women at the time. David, now more skilled in deceit, ensured none of his women clashed. But soon he couldn't keep pretending. Amara's beauty and purity intensified his desires. He tried to convince her with sweet words, saying intimacy would strengthen their bond. But Amara held firm. "Only my husband will know me." David felt defeated. No woman had ever denied him before. He vowed to get his way. On the eve of their service year's end, he visited her with wine. After they toasted, she started feeling dizzy, unaware of what he'd done. She passed out. David poured wine on her clothes to make it seem like an accident, then carried her to bed and violated her. When she woke up confused and crying, David lied. "You asked me to. You were tipsy and pulled me towards you." Amara was uncertain. He embraced her and said, "I'll marry you anyway. Don't feel bad." But Amara pushed him away and shouted, "Get out." She warned him never to return. The next day at the passing out parade, everyone was cheerful, except Amara. David approached her. "You look sad," he said. "What's wrong?" She looked him in the eye and said, "I pity you, David." Later, back in Lagos, David cut ties with all the women he had known during service. His father placed him in charge of a company, and David flourished professionally. But his womanizing didn't stop. He seduced his secretary, kept her as a lover for months, and fired her when bored. He repeated this pattern with other women. At 30, his mother urged him to settle down, but David wasn't interested. One day, at a restaurant, he met a young woman named Tanya. She was stunning, and he chased her until she gave in. They dated, and she soon got pregnant. David refused to keep the baby and convinced her to abort. She became pregnant 2 more times, and each time he made her terminate it. After the 3rd abortion, Tanya had complications and lost her womb. David promised to marry her, but once she recovered, he dumped her. Heartbroken, Tanya cried and begged, "After everything, after all your promises?" But David walked away without a second thought. He moved on to a new woman, Vivian. She was intelligent, confident, and when she complained about a business transaction at his office, he offered her a refund and some charm. They started dating. Vivian told him she was abstaining from sex till engagement or marriage. This impressed David, and for once he truly fell in love. 6 months later, he proposed, and she said yes. They spent a night together afterward, and it felt magical to David. He planned to visit her family next, but then she vanished. When he rushed to her house, he found her in bed with another man. Shocked, he asked, "Vivian, what's going on?" She casually said, "That's my business partner. I was just thanking him, in kind." As he prepared to leave, she laughed and said, "Look at me. Do you remember me?" David stared blankly. "I'm Chidinma's best friend," she said. The name hit him like thunder. Chidinma was a girl he dated in university, got pregnant, and dumped. She nearly died afterward. Vivian revealed her plan. "When you didn't recognize me, I played along. I wanted to make you fall, just like you made others fall. I was going to fake a wedding and leave you at the altar." She added coldly, "And that night I used you. Don't flatter yourself. You weren't even good. Thanks for the ring. I'll sell it." Then she ordered her security to throw him out. Shattered, David returned home, depressed and heartbroken. He fell sick from the shock and was hospitalized. Friends and his sister visited, offering comfort. One friend told him, "Now you know how those girls felt. This is your harvest." David vowed to change and avoided women for 6 months, until he met Diana. She was a stunning lady he met at the bank. When his car wouldn't start, she fixed it. Surprised, they exchanged numbers and became close. Eventually, they started dating. Diana was everything he had ever wanted. Gentle, wise, and undemanding. David adored her and gave her everything. After a year, he considered proposing again. But fear crept in. What if she's like Vivian? What if this is revenge again? His friend told him, "Follow your heart." David waited until after his friend's wedding, then planned a beachside proposal for Diana. While the party was on, David called for silence, went on one knee, and promised to love and cherish her forever. But the story wasn't over yet.